Well, here we are on the top of a hill overlooking the Mary Valley direction. We've got Mullaney over to our left hand side. This is the vicinity of the start of the Mary River. We are really close by where the property is, where I believe the Mary River starts from a spring.
Maryborough traffic, microlight 6340 turns base, full stop, 17 Maryborough.
Well, I'm just back from another mission. Why don't you come and join me now and watch what we've been up to. Enjoy this adventure. And maybe after you've watched this one, you might want to watch one of the other more than 300 videos on the channel regarding aviation and flying adventures with Crayonbox.
Well, this is pretty much the western side of Maryborough. Once you get out here, you're, actually I should know what this is, I can't remember the name of it, but it is the western side of Maryborough. There is a name for this suburb. Are we there yet? Actually, probably not quite. This is still Maryborough, okay? And, yeah, once we get past here, there's not many more CBD things, let's just say. The residential areas thin out a lot, become acreages going into the country. The turn in the river's coming up ahead, so we'll be turning down there and then we'll be tracking south most of the way from here. And a lot of where we're going today is very much infrequented country. So, I mean, people do go there. I wouldn't say it's never visited, but where I am now is very popular, of course, very common to fly around, but the further south we go, until we get to Gympie area kind of thing, yeah, it thins out a bit. So I've been wanting to do this for quite some time. Right, here's the bend in the river, and then we'll be tracking south. See, the river looks quite full at the moment. I think it was, I didn't really look, it's probably a high tide as well, which tends to push the water up here. Oh, if you're wondering about sharks in the river, yes. Bull sharks are quite a thing up the river. Bull sharks are one of those aggressive sharks. Wouldn't call them a man-eater, but they will bite you. And people have died from being bitten by them. Mostly because of blood loss, I guess. Anyway, that's not the topic for today, is it? Our next stop will be Tyro. And that's about 20 kilometres, I guess. Right, so we're coming into Tyro now. Tyro is a small town about 20 kilometres south of Maryborough. And that's pretty much the end of civilization. As far as tracking the river goes, we now track inland a little bit and continue south. We go around the mountain in front of us called Bopple Mountain, which I've had in a few videos in the past. Bopple Mountain is, if I can read the map, 1,628 meters. I can never remember. I'm pretty sure it's feet. We don't have mountains like that in Australia. 1,600 meters. No, it would be feet. There's Tyro there. And the Bruce Highway, the main highway, tracks through Tyro at the moment. They're talking about putting a bypass in, a highway bypass. But we'll be turning away from it now, and we'll be tracking slightly west and then continuing south. And we'll be following this railway track a little bit as well, to the just to the left of us there.
Right, 1 4 right, 5 miles to the east of the field.
And as you can see, there's other people enjoying the beautiful weather today too, and that's good to see. There is no wind, it is very calm. I'm currently at a height of 770 feet above ground, and we've got about 61 nautical miles to go. So just under an hour. I'm keeping the speed low to conserve fuel, doing 70 knots at this stage. Look at those reflections. I've been across, oh, it's a railway bridge actually. No, is it a road bridge? I think it's a combination. Used to be a railway bridge. I don't know what I'm talking about. Is a railway bridge. It looks like a road. It is a road. It used to be a railway bridge then. Yeah, that's what it was. Oh, it still is. It is a combination. Okay. I've been here on a motorbike anyway, that's what I was trying to say, and there's a pub just below us. Took me all that to say that. We might just cut this corner off. You can see the river's over to our left. Just up there.
Indy traffic, swing through Ep2 Quebec is 8 miles to the south of the field. On descent through 2,800 inbound, exit time 10.
We're about 10 nautical miles north of Gympie at the moment. As you can see, the river's changed a lot since when we began. It would be pretty much fully freshwater now, or it should be. And this river has flooded quite a few times, even up here. Actually, yeah, all the way up pretty much to Kenilworth and Conondale area, which we'll be flying through soon. But as I said, Gympie's 10 miles ahead, which is about 8 minutes. And we'll just keep following the river. Not much to see, just enjoy the scenery really, isn't it? Spectacular day. Wow. So just coming up below us is quite narrow. It's flowing quite quickly. But yeah, look at that, wow. That is flowing very quickly through there. Obviously, as the river narrows, the water has to speed up to get the volume through it. Simple physics right there. Physics 101. Okay, so Gympie Township, and then just south of there is the Kaibong airstrip, Gympie Airport as it's known, or what's it called? YGYM. Yankee Golf Yankee Mike is the actual ICAO code for that one. I'll be landing there later for a coffee with my friend and getting some fuel to get home. Alright, we're coming into Gympie. We're just on the northern suburbs at this stage. And we'll be continuing our course down to the west, down to our destination, which is another 45 nautical miles to go, which will be about 40 more minutes of flying. I've just spoken to my friend in Gympie. He's expecting me in about an hour's time for a coffee and some fuel, and everything's progressing really well, currently at 1,000 feet and 10 miles north of Gympie Airfield, or just under. The city of Gympie is to our left now, to our port side. It's just been a beautiful morning for flying. I have to keep my wits about me going through Gympie Airport area because in the circuit there'll be a lot of people training and whatever else. Righto, so enjoy the view. I'll put some up as it appears. So we've still got the Mary River down on our right here, which now crosses in front of us to our left. Actually, we might go a bit closer to town and we'll follow it into the city of Gympie. There's quite a lot of water in the river at this time of year, which is good. There's been a bit of rain of recent. I did a drought video not long ago. There was a bit of rain down here, but we were getting nothing. And you can see it's still quite green. So we're actually entering into our dry season now, and the rainfall will decrease and our driest month is probably June, I think, June or July, and so grass will start to dry out and things will start to look brown and dead around here, and the rain will start to sort of kick in again with storms about September, October.
Taxiing from the grinding crop to runway, backtracking runway 32 for departure for a circuit and full stop landing.
So we've got Nescafe on the left, that's where they make the coffee. And we've got the Gympie Township coming up. There's a hospital on our left as well. Showgrounds on our right. And that's the town of Gympie. I don't know if it's bigger than Maryborough or not. It's about the same size actually. Righto, where are we? So we've got about 3 miles to the next waypoint. Distance to go, 0.6 to the first one, and then the airport. Gympie traffic, microlight 6340 is 3 miles to the north. Over Gympie, tracking the river, and we'll be tracking west of the airfield down the river at 1,000 feet and continuing south. Gympie traffic. Yeah, we'll have to be cautious about going through Gympie past the airfield. And of course we'll take the necessary action as required to avoid conflict. Now, I'm not seeing any traffic on my actual screen, which is a bit of a nuisance actually. Okay, we have the runway in sight, so we're going to track around to the north of the field. I'm going to have to did we go over the field? I should have looked at that. I'm not going to climb. Just have to be vigilant. So we've still got the river on our left here, and it cuts across in front of us, and we'll be heading over to the right here. Gympie traffic, microlight 6340 is 1 mile north of the field, 1,000 feet, tracking the river to the southwest of the field, and continuing on to the south at 1,000. Gympie traffic. Okay, so we've still got the river. We've just flown past the Gympie airfield. I've just had a chat with my friend, let him know that I was flying past and he could see me. So I must be in the right place. And the river's in front of us, and we've got 34 nautical miles to go, so I'll catch up shortly. So it's got quite a few twists and turns in it now, and I'm getting a little bit more thermal turbulence too, so we'll be right. Yeah, alright, so we go another big, so it just meanders all over this country now. In fact, I wouldn't mind betting that what we're seeing, these multiple lines of trees, is actually the river, where the tree lines are, because trees generally are along the riverbanks, aren't they? So we're still on track, we've still got the Mary River below us. So there's all sorts of rivers here, like on the left of me. The one below us is actually the Mary River. 26 miles to go, starting to get quite thermal actually. We're in 21 degrees C, it is May, it is our autumn. It did seem like a bit of a warmer day this morning. As I said, as we get to the end of this, it gets really difficult to identify where it begins, and it goes through all the trees, and we won't actually see the river, of course, at the beginning of the source, at the beginning of the source, whatever, and but we do know that that is formally the start of the actual river. Now if you want a tree change, as we call it in Australia, I don't know if it's the same in the rest of the world, you want to go to the country, I mean there's been a saying around for a long time called the sea change. Well, we call country living, moving to the country, a sea change, a tree change. And this is where you'd want to be, because the trees and the bush and the country here is just beautiful. Especially on those foggy mornings, and you know, it's not super cold, but it just looks beautiful in the sunrise and everything like that. Fortunate this morning there's no fog in these valleys, and there's people with kayaks down there. Look like they're going for a paddle. Camping, even a caravan off the beaten track. How awesome is this? So we're actually tracking on the eastern side of the Kenilworth, this little Bruloo, Kenilworth, bluffy, rangy thing. So there's a rocky bluff to the north of us, that's the Bruloo bluff, and to the south of us is the Kenilworth bluff. And you can understand why they're mining, they're quarrying here, because it's just good rock. But they're destroying the mountain. Right, where's the river going now? It's all over the show. So there's a big kind of in front of us, there's a big a loop, if you like. We can see where it goes. I'm not going to follow it all. We're just going to cut the corner here, and we're going to follow, join up again. So just all the way around to the left. We have got another 20 miles to go. Of course, that depends on how many turns I do as well, doesn't it? Height above ground is 640 feet. Now, on our right-hand side, you'd see the Kenilworth Bluff, which should be visible any second. That could be it there, actually. Big rock face on the top of the hill. Alright, and we're going to continue and cut this loop off. We can see where that is. I can see some big power lines there now, well below us at this stage. Alright, so the river snakes around to the left and back across our path in front of us. It looks like there's a bit of a... No, that's a dam. So there's a big water resource in front of me. That's a dam up on a hill above the river. And there's more people on the right here camping along the riverbank. Very popular. Having a riverside holiday. Look at that, the river just keeps on meandering through the valleys. How beautiful is it in here? Now there's a township, I think that's Kenilworth actually, in front of us now. Yes it is. Township of Kenilworth coming up on our right now. So Kenilworth is actually one of the towns along the river, obviously, but it's right next to the river.